Hi, hello, and welcome to the Oracle Consularship brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess Ablosi. I'll be your Oracle today. I was sent to deliberate the findings for the channeled reading. If you're new, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. It's a delight and an honor and a privilege to serve you. Thank you for allowing us to do so. If anything resonates deeply with you, go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, leave a review, book a session, send a donation. Vertex of Abundance is the galactic temple of ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. Today we are using the This Might Hurt Tarot. That is by Isabella Rotman over at Liminal 11 Publishing. Already we have the 10 of Cups. That's part of the overall energy, as well as the King of Pentacles, Page of Cups, and the Hierophant. Again, I repeat, the core, concrete, central energy for this entire reading is the 10 of Cups, King of Pentacles, Page of Cups, Hierophant, 10 of Cups, King of Pentacles, Page of Cups, Hierophant. Any other additional energy will clarify or modify these core meanings here, which for the final repeat is the 10 of Cups, King of Pentacles, Page of Cups, Hierophant. Just a little bit of housekeeping. If anything resonates deeply with you, there's information in the show notes. Also, there is an option in some platforms to increase the playback speed or to decrease it, because sometimes we talk fast, sometimes we talk slow, sometimes there's a couple pauses for downloads. There's also usually, not always, a link to a summary in the show notes or the about section or the description box, depending on where you come in to the cast. And that's usually between the Hamsa hands. It's called the Handa Fatima. Okay, Fatima. So, 10 of Cups is the eternal kingdom. It could talk about emotional fulfillment, happily ever after, long-term relationship, also the kingdom of the divine, how things are in heaven, what was intended for our life, especially with the King of Pentacles here. That is a manifestation of Artha, which is the fruits of one's dharma. It also is somebody that has mastered practical skill of some kind. Okay, it also could be somebody in a committed relationship or the provider, especially with the Hierophant out here. That could be Sun in King of Pentacles with the Hierophant, could be a Taurus Sun, Sun in Taurus, somebody born during the month of Taurus. It also could be somebody that is a Taurus midheaven, which would talk about a Leo rising, especially with this Page of Cups here and the Hierophant. That could talk about somebody with Venus in the 7th house or in the 2nd or the 8th house, which would mainly be some type of Scorpio Venus. We could also have, in this case, a Taurus rising, midheaven, or sun. Okay. So the Page of Cups is also somebody receiving affection, tokens of affection. To a lesser degree, it also could be somebody who is being prepared to receive a spiritual blessing, and they're beginning to learn about their, you know, divine soul, which is their authentic self, their true nature. So that's authenticity, genuineness, and sincerity. Okay, and that's usually what we have with the Page of Cups. And there's some type of testimony or witnessing from the divine. It seems like System Churches foundations have been set up for us because we have some type of pulpit platform. We're securing a position of some kind. It could be a throne, some kind of divinely ordained purpose. And then we have the Eight of Wands as a creative new beginning with the Knight of Cups. We're taking actions from the heart. We are pursuing our authentic self and true nature. Because right now, what's beginning to blossom or bear upon us is that fertile field, whatever that looks like. For some of us, it's the Garden of Eden, Nine of Pentacles with the Ten of Cups. That's typically some kind of, if you sow, later on you reap. If you invest, later on it yields. So it can be a little bit, to a lesser degree, Midas touch, whatever we touch turns to gold, but there's an intentionality there. Because either in the past self or the lesser self, is this column here, if you're on the video, we have the Five of Swords with the Page of Cups. Now, believe it or not, that's a double Venus energy. So it's not as bad or problematic as it can be seen, because the Five of Swords is, short-sighted energy. It's a lose-lose situation, but it's also self-interest and boundaries and standards. With this creative new beginning, Ace of Wands, and this Knight of Cups, which is heart on our sleeve, or Order of the Cherubim, which means, some type of high-level protection. Because of the authenticity of our soul, we have a divine, pure soul. Okay. Seven of Wands, World, Temperance with the Page of Swords. So we have a double page already, which can be messages. It also can talk about a lot of learning. The Page of Swords is a delayed message. It could sometimes be bad news, but also it could be us being prepared for some type of technical skill, some type of supreme authority, especially here with the Temperance card. That would talk about some type of Gemini, Venus, or descendant, which would mean seventh house. So we could be dealing now we had Taurus, and now we have Sagittarius. And both of those, the Hierophant talks about the sun in Taurus or Jupiter in Pisces. And I'm sorry, the sun in Sagittarius or Jupiter in Pisces. That's what the Taurus card talks about. So higher minded principles, leaning into faith, looking at more traditional means and mechanisms, whether it's society, which can be systematizing, or socializing and controllership. It could be working into, leaning into, or coming out of, evolving on from the status quo, colonizing and controlling, which is Mother, Daughter, Teacher, Preacher, history books, science books, religious books. What is established, what is tradition, teachings as well. There's a bit of healing here with the Temperance card, especially coming out after the Five of Swords. It could be that we need a standards and boundaries to Seven of Wands, have some type of high ground. Over the next week, we're going to begin to get messages of delay, or messages of bad news, or messages of a little bit of opposition, where we need to be scrutinizing. Because Temperance and the World card is the world of healing. We're healing from something. Now we have the Page of Wands. So we have Gemini and Sagittarius energy here strong. We do have the Midas touch, because the Empress card has come out with the Nine of Pentacles. That's the Midas touch. We have the Queen of Pentacles now with the King of Pentacles. So that's Taurus moon, Taurus sun, with the Temperance card and the King of Wands. That's also sun in Sagittarius, or Sagittarius midheaven, which talk about a Pisces rising. So we have Pisces rising, Leo rising, or Aquarius rising here. If there's an Aquarius rising, there might be Venus in the first house. We also have Venus in the seventh house here. And it's strong for Venus in the seventh house. And a confirmation already for Venus in the first house. So when we have a preponderance of kings. We have two kings here. It's talking about some type of alliance. And out came the Five of Cups. To clarify these, we'll be using the Cosmic Coven Tarot by Lisa Lazenby to clarify any type of combinatory energy pairings, basically. And that's by Ripe Avocado. To clarify this pair of kings, King of Wands, King of Pentacles. King of Wands is wanting the Seven of Wands. So wanting to defend, wanting to take a stand, wanting to retain high ground, wanting to protect something. It's taking massive action is what normally the King of Wands means. It's somebody who's mastered their drive, desires, passions, motivations. The King of Pentacles has mastered some type of practical skill. The King of Pentacles really is just this Tower and Hierophant energy. The Tower did not come out, but I'm feeling Mars energy. Basically, this five and the Knight of Cups. So the Hierophant regulates the fives. And this Five of Swords here is some embitterment. Okay. It also could be, vim and viscer, somebody who's ruminating, oscillating, vacillating in hate, marinating in venom. It's regulated here. So it's really more self-interest, somebody that found something distasteful, out of alignment with their standards and boundaries. We are dealing with another person. It's not always the case, but this spread does highlight another person, and it would be this line here if you're on the video. So again, Seven of Wands came out for this clarification of the pair of kings, King of Wands and King of Pentacles, along with Four of Wands, Three of Cups, Two of Cups. The Four of Wands is in the position of another person. The shared energy is the Two of Cups, and the higher ground is the Three of Cups. So something in the past happened that was bad. I'm going to use the word bad. Now, there was two individual energies that got together. It could have been two people, could have been two environments, two places, two options, two opportunities, two manifestations, two convergences, two. Something came together to try to make a better third energy, and it didn't congeal. Five of Cups. There was some type of bubble bursting or disappointment or letdown, and basically there's been some rumination. Okay, to the extent that there was a disappointment and something needed to be mourned because it was grieving. There might have been a little bit of remorse or regret, and there could have even been a breakup because now in the future we have Four of Wands, Three of Cups, and Two of Cups. That's something coming back together, typically some type of union. So there's a message of, because when you have the Page and the Page of Wands and the Empress, it means somebody is found attractive, confirmed by the King of Wands. The King of Wands is sexy. Literally, somebody sees us as sexy because this is in our position here. And attractive, vivacious, high charismatic, high vibrational doesn't always mean physical attraction. But there's a bond of some kind that had obstacles to it. It might have been some type of lesson, whether a karmic lesson or unanchored timeline, a lack of healing and awakening, and now it's come back around. Something, someone can give us what we want, what we need, could do the right thing now, or finally can commit to this, come get this, get this. Now we have three pages, Page of Wands, Page of Cups, and the Page of Swords. Let's go ahead and clarify this. It came out face down, the Eight of Swords. Okay, so somebody else, not ours, not ourselves, somebody else is in this Eight of Swords energy. This means several different things in our house. First of all, Eight of Swords is rule, regulation, restriction. It also can be some type of compression is put on a timeline where somebody needs to wrangle something down or be restrained in order for something to begin to manifest. And it also could mean that somebody's confused to second guessing. They're tied up, their hands are tied in some kind of way, shape, form, or another. And it's because we detached. And so messages of affection are going to come through, maybe even apology, because now we have the Page of Pentacles, Page of Cups, clarifying this triple page. Okay, so that's the cornerstone of the situation. So why don't we cap it now? Seven of Cups, Eight of Swords, King of Cups, Seven of Swords, Page of Pentacles. Okay, so we got all four pages, 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands means that we've just culminated some type of karmic cycle. Now we have all four pages. So that definitely is something needed to be learned. There was a lesson, there was a catalyst. We have a pair of seven, so that's an alert that there's a little bit of manipulation here, or yeah. Because when you have the Seven of Wands, Eight of Wands, excuse me, Seven of Swords, Eight of Swords, in a reading, it means somebody is guilty of a trespass. Now, we don't have the Judgment card, we don't have the Fool card, we don't have the Justice card, but we do have one of the Crown cards, it being the Empress here. So something went wrong. There was an error, an egregious error, a breach of protocol, and the universe had to intervene. And it was a slow process. The clarification came out with the Knight of Pentacles here, Page of Wands, King of Pentacles, Two of Wands. Somebody had to be brought to a crossroad, and something inside had to say, hey, it's time to grow. It's time to break out, break free. It seems like there's a couple here, and it doesn't always mean romantic, but there's a union here, some type of soulmate situation, a match, a pairing, where growth should be happening. It could be catalytic. We have the Ten of Wands and the King of Wands. There's some type of karmic lesson here. Also, we have another king, so we have three kings. So there's some type of concord or compact, not just an alliance. And each of the kings came out with the corresponding page. You have the King of Cups with the Page of Cups. You have the King of Pentacles with the Page of Pentacles. You have the King of Wands with the Page of Wands. We also have the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Wands. So that's a culmination. Ten of Cups is what was intended for our lives. Ten of Wands happens usually when you're going against the grain, when you're fighting the divine, when you're saying no to the Lord. And I said that we had two sevens. We actually have three sevens here. Seven of Wands, Seven of Swords, Seven of Cups. So Seven of Wands is a sign, a message, an alert that our ground is slipping. We were on high ground, and then there was a decline. Seven of Swords is an alert that there's a trespass, especially in the presence of other sevens. And the Seven of Cups is an alert that there's been a mirage. There's something here unhealed, unawakened. It can be vacant, vapid, and vacillous in terms of ruminating, oscillating, vacillating in hate, ruminating, and oscillating venom, marinating in venom. And it's because there was something here was unhealed, unawakened. It wasn't the up at night, Nine of Swords kind of rumination, but somebody needed to put something down, get up off of something, get over something, you know, they were acting foolish, acting stupid. This is what that is. And it was self-interest, Five of Swords. It might have been spiteful in the beginning, but it caused them some anguish here. Seven of Swords with the Ten of Wands, they ran right into a karmic cycle. They stepped in it, is what that is, and it compounded. It was a compounding, cascading cacophony of karma because of some simple cause that was made. It might have been a temptation. Ace of Wands. Honestly, what I'm hearing is they needed to get an itch scratched, if you hear what I'm saying. They couldn't be bored, they couldn't be mindful, they couldn't sit in silence and contemplate. They needed to distract themselves. Because it said that we were granted or we were blessed or we were chosen for something. Nine of Cups, but somebody here was on this defensive posture and position. Seven of Wands, Eight of Wands. They wanted things to be moving. They needed to contain a situation, but they never spoke up. So that we were being held accountable to something we were never made accountable for. Is what I'm getting. And we were protected. We contained the situation by having to step back. We left ourselves to our own devices. Page of Swords, we were receiving news that wasn't helpful. It was delayed news, or we had to scrutinize the situation, or whatever, what have you. And it's come to a completion, a fruition. We have the World card here. This was a karmic cycle. And what it did is it gave us traditions, it gave us principles, it gave us policy, procedure, protocol, it gave us some type of status quo, rules of order, a book to follow, to go by the book next time. And it wasn't necessarily what we were told or what we were given, it's what we perceived, what we intuited as we went through and experienced a situation. The Hermit's not here, but we might as well have gone within to the inside and sought self-knowledge. Here we sought spiritual knowledge. God, duties, and obligations, Hierophant. Just to clarify my assumption or my intuition, we have the Ace of Wands. So creative new beginning, it's already out on the board as well. We needed somebody to come at us loving. King of Cups, Eight of Cups. We're in the Eight of Cups energy, which means we didn't just detach ourselves from the situation, Four of Cups. We withdrew our energy, Eight of Cups. We walked on by, I'm hearing that. We moved on, moved forward. We went up the mountain to a higher elevation, out of reach, out of touch, out of time. We ascended up the mountain. The word for that is stratification. We got to a higher vibe. So whatever this was, wasn't phasing us, wasn't touching us, even if it was painful. We grew through whatever we had to go through. And it left us with something. It taught us something. I'm hearing that song, you're out of touch, you're out of time. Yeah, I've been rocking my head when you're not around. Yeah, who's that? Hall & Oates? She's golden. She's golden. Yeah, remember I was talking about the Midas touch? Okay, so that's Hall & Oates. Out of touch, I don't know. It's either Hall & Oates or Naked Eyes, but it's Hall & Oates. Daryl Hall and John Oates. Hall and Oates. Hall. Hall and Oates. Oh. Oh. Yeah, see? Regina di Bastioni, the Queen of Wands. It means that we're high vibrational. Yeah. See, Queen of Wands is holding the Ace of Wands in her hand. Yeah, and see what's the corresponding energies here. Knight of Wands, Six of Wands. Yeah, so we're in an elevated status. Somebody had to be better, do better in order to get back to us because we weren't about whatever the experience was. We were being prepared for some type of material blessing, Page of Wands. So we were seeking for some type of practical skill. We didn't care about our feelings of the matter. Our feelings were informing our experience. Our experience was letting us know whether we got our needs met or not. And we went from that Page of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles. So we went from that neophyte to the master. We mastered those practical skills, and we even have the King of Pentacles come back out, and it's already here on the board. Yeah, so there was some type of projection. Seven of Cups, it's here as well. 10 of Cups, it's here as well. Queen of Cups, Five of Swords, it's here as well. Five of Swords is not always, I mean, we have a hidden enemy and an open enemy. Five of Swords, Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is hidden enemy, Five of Swords is open enemy, but it also means self-interest. Five of Swords, lone wolf. Seven of Swords. So the person had something going on to share with us what was going on. They weren't about what they were about. They weren't speaking out loud, living out loud. We didn't know what we just didn't know. But see, they fell down to the ground with that 10 of Swords, because Five of Swords is something being revoked. So they might have been resting on their laurels, Seven of Cups. They might have been under the impression that they can, that's why the Four of Cups came through as well, being left on the back burner. They just got removed as an option. That's very common with the Five of Cups, Four of Cups, Eight of Cups. If you back burner somebody, you come around next day, next week, next month, you spin the block and you look back and they're not there anymore. They're definitely not where you left them. You're not going to find them where you left them at. Yeah, see, somebody's been racking their brain, Nine of Swords. They've been in their mind, in their heart, in their head. Up at night. See, this is shame and guilt. That's the type of regret and remorse that gives you, because if something is haunting, they're guilty of something. Eight of Swords, yeah, they've been restrained and arrested for some type of trespass, Seven of Swords. And with the 3 sevens instead of 2 sevens, it's not just an alert anymore. Now it's an alarm. We got that Beyonce song, Ring the Alarm. Yeah, okay, so somebody was like, I'll be darned. This is not me. God don't want this for me. This is not how Sky Daddy intended it to be. 10 of Cups, pre-intended. Okay, so we have Four of Swords, Nine of Swords. Somebody's stuck on regret and some kind of loop playing and over and over and over again. Eight of Cups, over and over and over again, again and again and again and again. They're see, this is a failure to take accountability, self-reflection, self-examination. They're looking for the fault, and the fault exists within inside them. They're looking for the answer, and the answer exists within inside them. They might have been going according to appearances or doing the traditional things, not listening to their heart. Yeah, listen to your heart. Yeah, when it comes calling to you, listen to your heart. Don't know where you're going, don't know why, but listen to your heart before you tell them goodbye. If somebody passed us by, and all it did was make us better, and all it did was burn them down to the ground. Okay, so we already got the confirmation on this. Let's go ahead and pull a Pop of Love Oracle by Vibe About It Tarot over on Etsy, because we have the double 10, one of them being a Cups. We have the Empress here, and we have the King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. So that is enough for love, although we don't have the Four of Wands or the Two of Cups or we do have the Temperance. Okay, so this is soulmate. The Divine Feminine shows up, not the Divine Masculine, even though we have 3 Kings here, it might as well be the Emperor. With the Empress, we have the Divine Feminine here. Okay, the outer turmoil. I feel my life is falling apart and I do not know what to do. Whatever can go wrong has gone wrong, but the one thing that felt right was you. Battles, arguments, and necessary conflicts feels like the world is falling apart. Physical world filled with chaos, confusion, destruction, feels the world is falling apart, literally. Okay. In preparation, acquiring knowledge, inner child healing. So somebody figured it out, but they had to go back in time and look at their little heart because they got some wounds, probably socialization trauma, developmental wounds. It's from caregivers. It's the system and the structure, the colonization control. It's the, you know, socializing and conditioning, programming from youth. Going inside to explore our authentic feelings and parts of us that have been rejected and labeled as too much or inappropriate by others, especially our caregivers. And then we, us, are sitting in forgiveness. Okay. So yeah, this Page of Cups from them was them giving us an apology. The Nine of Cups as well. If we see them, I'll be saying sorry. Well, all right. Knight of Cups is an apology. So it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve. Thank you for allowing us the privilege to do so. I'm going to say a quick prayer and a recap. For all those still lost out there to illusion, delusion, confusion, lost in the seas of time, trapped somewhere in the matrix, yet to heal, yet to awaken, yet to return to the resplendent grace of the divine, unconditional love and universal oneness. Anapana, we love you. We're sorry. Please forgive us. Thank you. We ask that our steps be ordered, our path be illuminated, and that we find salvation and redemption in this lifetime. May we be well, may we be happy, may we be at peace, may we receive everything we ever wanted, starting with what we deserve. This was a reading about us moving into our drive, desires, passions, motivations, actually mastering that through applying practical skills to our massive action that we were taking, which was really towards our higher self. We went through a stratification, meaning our vibration ascended, it matured, and we began to focus on our spiritual self, our spiritual nature, our authentic self, our true nature, instead of how we appear in the eyes of another person or some man being a plan or whatever or what have you. And what that did is it detached us from whatever other energy we were dealing with and allowed that energy to heal. We held the gate open. We kind of walked down the road a little bit, and we didn't leave for somebody else to get a clue or to race to us or towards us. We left because we learned our lesson, not to teach them a lesson. And it seems to be working out. In the next week or so, something's going to manifest, and we can kind of take it from there. It's been an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to serve. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to do so. Go ahead and smash that like button and we'll see you in the next one. Okay, dear? Bye-bye.